All right, I picked all 272 NFL regular season games and break it down all 32 teams. We got the NFC South today. Let's hop right on into it. Okay, the New Orleans Saints 5-12 last year, and the Saints are definitely in the running for the worst team in the NFL this upcoming season. They bring in new head coach Kellen Moore, fresh off his Super Bowl victory with the Philadelphia Eagles, his first head coaching opportunity. They lose Derek Carr. He retires to some weird injury. They're just playing the cap game, as well as the Honey Badger Tyrann Mathieu calls it quits. They lose wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who had some really bright flashes last year. They bring in Brandon Cooks back to New Orleans, but he's been pretty irrelevant for a while now. Safety Justin Reed comes over, and they draft quarterback Tyler Shough, maybe one of the most controversial quarterbacks in this draft. This guy legitimately is like 26 years old. He is like the oldest rookie we've seen in a good while. They draft Kelvin Banks, the tackle out of Texas, with their first round pick though. So overall, I think the Saints are in a complete rebuilding mode. Chris Olave, is he going to be healthy? He's one hit away. He's on the Tua train right now with these concussions. Alvin Kamara is going to have to carry the load, and he's getting to be up there in age. I think this is going to be a dreadful football team. I don't see there's any real positives there with this team. We don't even know who the quarterback's going to be at the time of this recording. Is it going to be Rattler? Is it going to be Shough? I say you just throw Tyler Shough out there, and if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, you're going to be picking at the top end of the draft. And maybe they can pry Arch Manning out of the University of Texas to fulfill the prophecy, since this team hasn't drafted a first-round quarterback since Archie Manning. This is ridiculous. The Saints have completely fallen off. They keep kicking the cap can down the road, and eventually the piper has come due. This is a dreadful team, a dreadful franchise right now, and they're in a bad division on top of it. It's not like the NFC South is a juggernaut division, but Mickey Loomis has got some crazy blackmail over the owner or something. I mean, they're just giving away draft picks to the Cowboys. I just don't know what the direction is of the New Orleans Saints. And a lot of people aren't super thrilled about the Kellen Moore hire as a head coach. We're not quite sure what we're going to get out of him. Some good times in Dallas, some bad times in LA. A good season last year with a very, very stacked football team. So ultimately, I definitely think the Saints are one of the worst teams in the NFL this upcoming season. No surprises there. But how bad are they going to be? Really bad. I got the Saints going 2-15 on the year. I don't know. They probably keep Kellen Moore, but you got to get rid of Mickey Loomis. You just got to completely start fresh. And guess what? If they're bad this year and Arch Manning doesn't come out, guess what? They'll be bad again next year as well. They can do this all day and get Arch Manning to come to New Orleans. I think they just need a complete fresh start, reset the cap, get everything back in, and they just got to acquire more talent. Everybody's old and long in the tooth. There's just not young talent on this team really anywhere, it feels like. I don't know. Weird situation overall all around for the Saints team. They're going to be dreadful 2-15. All right. If you haven't already, new viewers, hit that subscribe button. Most of you guys aren't subscribed yet. So if you're new here, not subscribed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Really helps us out a lot. Long form content every single day of the upcoming football season. Okay, the Carolina Panthers, 5-12 last year, but some really bright flashes down the stretch. It looked like the revitalization of Bryce Young gets benched early in the season last year. Andy Dalton takes over. Then a freak car accident forces Young back into the starting lineup, and they finish the season on a high note, playing much better football all around. They draft wide receiver Terriosha McMillan out of the University of Arizona with their first round pick, giving them a big time upgrade to their first wide receiver one right there. Maybe not so high on Xavier Leggett. We're waiting to see if Adam Thielen is going to be traded away or not. But if you got that, you got some good pieces, as well as Chuba Hubbard in the backfield. Great running back, I think, for this Panthers team. And the offensive line is actually kind of solid. They've spent a lot of money on the offensive line pieces. This defense was really bad this past year. And they upgraded. They get Bobby Brown in free agency. They bring in Morig in the secondary. Now, did they upgrade it enough? Probably not, but this unit was so bad. Anyway, I like Dave Canales. We saw what he did with Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield, and we saw what he did with just a couple of weeks with Bryce Young to reset it. I think this is going to be a much improved team, sneaky good team, but I just don't quite buy the hype overall for this team. I know a lot of people hey, Panthers sleeper playoff team potentially in there. The division is beneficial. Again, the Saints are awful. The Buccaneers and the Falcons aren't any juggernauts either, and the schedule isn't like terrible either. I think I'm pretty sure they play the AFC South as well. So South action right there. I do think the Panthers improve. I think we see some positive signs, but again, this team is really kind of rebuilding themselves. Give me the Panthers to improve, but only go 7-10. I think everyone's going to feel good in Carolina, though. If Bryce Young looks like he's the franchise quarterback, they have some wins, they have some success, especially against better teams, and it will feel like a real jump going into next year to potentially make the playoffs. This is a young football team, I think, with their pieces. I like the direction the Panthers are heading. I got them going 7-10. Okay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 10-7 last year, another division title. This team just running the NFC South these days, but they did lose in the wild card round to the Washington Commanders, so kind of a bad taste after it felt like they could be potentially make some noise in the postseason, but they did add a lot of good pieces this offseason. They add Hassan Reddick to that pass rushing group. This was one of the worst defenses in the NFL, very good at the run game, but really bad in the secondary. So how do you fix that? You go get after the quarterback to not give them time. I also really like their draft. They draft wide receiver Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State. He may not be a top tier number one wide receiver guy, but he's going to be the best number two wide receiver in the league one day. And he may be a bottom end number one guy. You pair him with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin coming off the ankle injury. He's probably not going to be 100% right away. And Benjamin Morrison, who would have been a top 10 draft pick if he wasn't coming off the injury from last year. So really good pieces they added. They didn't really lose too much in that defense. Like, the defense wasn't really bad anyway. They, like I said, they re-signed Chris Godwin. Now they're going to be without Godwin and Wirfs probably for the first few weeks of the season. So I do think the Buccaneers are going to get off to a little slow start, as well as losing offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. They're going to change things. The defense, not great. I think this offense could be excellent, though. They're staying in-house. I know it's a new play caller, so there will be some bumps and bruises along the way. But ultimately, they got running back Bucky Irving going into his second year. Offensive line will get better if it's not already at this top tier thing because Wirfs is injured. I think they're going to be good. The defense is still the defense. Mike Evans, get me a healthy Chris Godwin. You still got Cade Otton. I'm very high on Emeka Egbuka. And Baker Moneymaker, the guy I've taken the biggest 180 out of. Like, I was so down on Baker Mayfield coming out, like, hate Baker. Big 180. Got to admit it. He's been really good. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The guy's just a gamer. The guy just wins. So with the division being weak, I do think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in for another good season. I got them a little bit better here. I got them going 11-6, maybe a slow start, but ultimately good season in the playoffs. But is it enough to retain that division title? Okay, and finally, the Atlanta Falcons, the team that we've been waiting for year in and year out to finally break through, get over the hump. They go 8-9 after a really good start. Kirk Cousins gets beat up. He falls off a cliff. They go to Michael Penix at the end, and it's Michael Penix's team now. Kirk Cousins, the most expensive backup in NFL history, and they do attack some team needs. This pass rush had some spurts last year, but it was really one of the worst pass rushes in the league last year. They add Leonard Floyd. They also draft James Pierce and Jalen Walker in the first round this year, as well as adding safety Xavier Watts and Jordan Fuller to this team. So they really overhaul this defense all around. Now, they did lose their center. They did lose Grady Jarrett and Rondale Moore. So the weapons kind of questionable. Kyle Pitts. It's Kyle Pitts' year. It's never going to be Kyle Pitts' year. But behind a very good running back in Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix, who is a much older quarterback coming into the league, so he has a lot of games. He has a lot of experience. Drake London is a very talented wide receiver. I think this team is going to be good, and I think they're going to be more consistent. And that's the thing that's been missing from the Falcons. Consistency. They need to get better on the defense. They need to stay good, but the offense just can't have these dreadful games where they don't do anything. They don't move the football. Now, is Penix a little bit of an injury concern? I think so, but I think the scheme around him, you're going to run Bijan a lot. You're going to get the ball out quick. We're going to kind of be like almost like a dink and dunk and then take our shot type offense, I think, in Atlanta. And those downfield throws that Kirk Cousins couldn't put the zip on the ball, Michael Penix is going to have no problem making those throws. So I do think the Falcons are going to be kind of greatly improved overall from a watching product. And I think they finally get over the hump and make the postseason this year. But the question is it going to be enough to catch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And no, I got the Falcons going 10-7 and the wild card team. I think this is the year. Now, call me crazy, call me stupid for ever believing in the Falcons before they actually do it. Kind of a beneficial schedule as well. Again, a weak division, weak out of conference schedule. So I think the Falcons are in prime position here to have a get over the hump type season. And I don't think Michael Penix is bad. Is his top end there? Probably not, but who knows? I didn't see enough. It's really hard to judge. Penix had some flashes in the 2-3 starts he had last year, so I'm going with the Falcons, getting over the hump. Defense is a little bit of a concern, but I think they're going to be better and much more consistent overall as a football team. I like the coaching staff. Give me the Atlanta Falcons, 10-7, and the wild card. So let's recap the divisions here. I got the Buccaneers going 11-6 and winning the division. Falcons 10-7 and getting that wild card spot. The Carolina Panthers improved at 7-10, and one of the worst teams in the league, the New Orleans Saints, at 2-15. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got the AFC North on deck tomorrow, one of the best divisions and competitive divisions in football, as we break down every single division every day leading up to the NFL kickoff on September 4th. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.